Hi, I'm Allie Cook for the Dental News Network. Today is September 19th, 2012, and this is your Wednesday Watch. Here are today's top stories brought to you by Johnson Johnson Listerine. We have such an exciting show for you this week. Nowhere else will you get to see what I'm about to show you. And I told you earlier this month that we'd be bringing you exclusive coverage from our tour of the Johnson Johnson Listerine Oral Healthcare Lab. Well, now you're about to go behind the doors of the lab with me and meet a principal scientist who gave us an overview of their facility. We are coming to you from the Johnson Johnson Listerine Microbiology Lab. I'm sitting here with Ms. Tara Foray, who is principal scientist here. Tara, thanks for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me.
What is the most shocking thing that people can learn about their own oral health?
I think something that's surprising to people is that there's more bacteria in their mouth than there are people on the planet. There's over 800 different species of bacteria in your mouth. And one thing that I think people don't understand is that just brushing alone only reaches 25% of their mouth. But by incorporating a 30-second rinse of a therapeutic mouth rinse, like Listerine Ultra Clean, you can reach 100% of your mouth for that real dentist clean feeling.
Tell us a little more about Listerine Ultra Clean.
Listerine Ultra Clean is the first and only over-the-counter mouth rinse that incorporates an anti-tartar ingredient proven to fight tartar buildup, as well as the 4 essential oils of Listerine that fight plaque and gingivitis.
You have 2 very fancy microscopes here. Can you tell us more about those?
We have 2 high-powered microscopes, a scanning electron microscope and a confocal laser scanning microscope. These 2 microscopes allow us to understand the mechanism of action of the 4 Listerine essential oils, as well as understand how Listerine actives can penetrate through a biofilm to really give us that superior biofilm kill.
Another highlight of the tour was the super pipette.
The super pipette is a high-throughput robotic instrument that allows us to test hundreds of samples at the same time. It really decreases our variability, and it eliminates some of the manual work that we would otherwise take hours and hours to do in the laboratory. It's a great instrument for us.
So it saves you a lot of time.
It does. It's very efficient.
And another interesting thing I wanted to make sure I asked you about is the biofilm room. Tell our viewers about the biofilm room.
The biofilm room is where we grow our saliva biofilms over the course of a whole week. And during that week, we're treating them twice a day as we would normally use a mouth rinse. So we're really mimicking what we see in our clinical trials. And the results we get from this in vitro biofilm test have matched our 6-month clinical efficacy testing as well.
And am I correct that the temperature in the room is mimicking the human mouth?
It does. It mimics the human mouth, and the whole system is under flow conditions. So the saliva and the media are flowing around these biofilms as they're forming at the same rate that saliva moves around in the mouth. So we're really matching what's going to happen in real life.
Interesting. And one last question. For you personally, what is the most important part of the Listerine scientific process?
I think the most important thing that we do here is innovation for our new products. We do a lot of work to not only develop the formulation like our Listerine Ultra Clean, but we do a lot of work to design new methods and models to really help us understand what's happening and how our Listerine products are superior to our competitors.
Well, thanks again so much, Tara. And as always, keep it here for the month of September to hear more from our tour at the Listerine Lab. And thanks again to Tara and everyone at Johnson Johnson Listerine. An Australian woman was eating a bag of chips at her parents' home when the snack she was eating literally bit her back. She was getting down to the crumbs in the bottom of the bag when she felt there was something wrong. The woman was alarmed to find, upon spitting it out, that it was a human tooth, but was relieved to find that it wasn't one of her own. Needless to say, she and her mother have given up eating chips for the moment, as well as bagged salad, because in an unrelated incident in the same area, a bird was found in another woman's bag of salad. Coming up, products and procedures, but first, here's a brief message from our sponsor.
Yep, that's your mouth, and it's surprising what it goes through in the course of a day. But what's even more surprising is that brushing alone isn't enough to keep it clean. Fortunately, you've got Listerine. Unlike brushing, which misses 75% of your mouth, Listerine cleans virtually your entire mouth. So what are you waiting for? It's time to take your mouth to a whole new level of health. Listerine, power to your mouth.
Sugar can be as addictive as drugs, according to new research. Sugar addictions are being closely examined, and it has been found that for some people, they can be very dangerous. A sugar rush is similar to the kind of high induced by illegal drugs because it triggers the pleasure centers of the brain. Further, processed sugars like high fructose corn syrup can make cravings more intense without making you feel full. To sweeten foods in a way that won't intensify cravings, one chef recommends using bananas, dates, and coconut nectar instead because these natural sugars will keep you satisfied longer. Experts also recommend exercise and a good night's sleep to help alleviate sugar cravings. Thanks for checking out the Wednesday Watch. We'll see you next week with more from Dentistry Today and DNN.